Welcome to More on That, a podcast by More Media Group. I'm your host, Emily Moore, and I'm joined by my co-host and COO of More Media Group, Will Capes.
This is a podcast about work, life, and the places they intertwine. Each episode, we'll talk to a new guest who is doing cool things, chasing a dream, or making great things happen.
In this episode, we talked with luxury travel advisor Mary Helen Law. Mary Helen has been honored by Travel and Leisure and Condé Nast for her work as a travel advisor. We got into a really cool conversation about motherhood, travel, and a little bit of Disney. So it was a lot of fun. So here is More on That with Mary Helen Law.
More on That is sponsored by Community Bank. These guys offer it all, from personal and business banking to financing and wealth management. They've got over 120 years of experience, and their home base is right here in Central Mississippi.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about the team at Community Bank. We recently moved More Media's banking over to them, and everything has been so smooth. Every single person we've talked to has been helpful, kind, and easy to communicate with. I'm so thankful to have a bank I can reach out to and get personalized support from the same day.
They've got a ton of awesome services like their secure digital banking, and if you're dreaming of finally launching that business, there's a variety of business accounts you can choose from. Their experts will help you choose the right plan for you.
We love Community Bank, and we think you guys will too. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. That's communitybank.net, member FDIC.
Mary Helen, hey, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you. I'm glad that this worked out. I know when we originally started talking to you about joining us, you were not in the country. You've been here, there, and everywhere lately, a few times maybe since we first reached out to you. But I'm glad you're at home today and able to join us. And
I have a good little chunk here between the UK and Africa. So
that's good. I'm glad you could pencil us in between your UK and Africa trips.
We get to move during this time, though. So this is also super fun.
Are you just moving houses or moving cities?
Moving houses.
Okay.
So staying, but we bought like what I would call a farm, but there's no animals. It's just like kind of pasture.
Land. You bought land.
We bought land. It's 48 acres, and it's kind of my husband's dream. And so we are going from this little ranch in a neighborhood to this like 48 acres with a big pond and stuff.
Will there be animals?
We'll definitely get a dog. I've been putting off the dog conversation as long as I could. And I always told my husband Fisher that once the kids were potty trained that we could get a dog.
Okay.
Well, this house doesn't have a fence, so I've gotten away with it a lot longer.
Okay.
The new house, the owners put in an electric fence, like it's very nice and zoned and all the things. And so I think I have like the end of the road.
It's time.
Heading off the dog.
Nice. So nothing big going on though between the dog and the house and the Africa trip and the UK
great.
trip. Yeah, just great.
Mary Helen, you and Will know each other through Will's wife, Whitney. Yes. Okay. How did you and Whitney meet?
On the internet.
On the internet.
That's right.
The way we make friends in 2026.
Online dating, but for friends.
That's right.
Right? It truly is. We have this like pretty solid group of girlfriends that met several years ago on Instagram, just from kind of living in the same spaces on Instagram. And then met in real life a couple of years ago. We all went up to a friend's house on Cape Cod and were just like hanging out, like we had known each other forever. And I guess it was before that, though, Will, that we met in person at Walt Disney World.
Yeah. So Mary Helen, so we knew, I think it was sort of happening at the same time. We definitely met in person before that big Cape Cod trip, but
we did.
It was sort of like, hey, I found this group of girls who is sort of doing. My wife did some mild influencing and stuff, and I know you guys did as well. Some mild influencing.
I saw Lily on the internet yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think it was just that, as you said, that network of women who was kind of living in the same space and doing the same stuff. And so we got together and Mary Helen booked a Disney trip for us.
Planned their Disney trip. Yeah. And I happened to be there at the same time.
Yeah, it worked out.
So you don't do that for everyone. That you don't. It's not part of the service to meet them there. Yes. Here, I'll bring you lunch while you're in line.
It was. I remember. It's very funny. Like when you see somebody you don't expect. I mean, we knew you were there, obviously, but we kind of go into the Magic Kingdom and come around the corner, and there is Mary Helen and her entire crew of mouse counselors, which we'll get into in a second. But it was just very
out of context, seeing people, and you're like, wait, this is weird.
But it also felt very like look at the effort she put into our trip.
Look
She's here
She's
with
here.
us. Yeah.
She flew here to make sure we had a good time.
Yeah, it was also frigid, which is like the one day that year that it was cold.
It was so cold.
Yeah.
We were wearing sweaters. And one of my favorite memories probably is Lily she's in Walt Disney World for the first time, and the parade is coming up Main Street, and it's about to pass and it's about to be finished. That's like where the parade ends. And they walked into the park, and I'd never met Will or Whitney in real life before, but I was like, can I take your child? And took her and just like ran over to the parade and got to see her face as she was witnessing that for the very first time. And I'm like, this is why I love my job. You don't get that experience that often, but you get photos from parents and things like that. But it really was a very cool experience to kind of see her first moments of seeing the castle and everything.
That's special. Yes. I took my kids last year. They were 3 and 5. I have another one now, but I was pregnant with her at the time. And yeah, it just that seeing it through the kids' eyes and like them seeing the characters that they love in person. It's special. Will and I actually talk about how we both have tendencies, is that a good word? We both could easily be Disney adults if we didn't actively prevent ourselves from doing so. Like
you hide your Disney freak.
Like we could. I could, if I just let myself go, I could be the person that gets a season pass and goes all the time and has all the outfits and does all the I could do it 100%. If I didn't resist. I do resist. I don't have any judgment on those people. I have opted to not be one. But that could change. I mean, at any moment, because I have it in me. Like, I do have it in me.
Yeah.
But Will gets there and he's like, this is my Olympics.
Oh, yeah.
I can
do this. I'm ready.
He's doing the lightning lanes. He's ready to roll. This is where we're going. This is how we're doing it. This is our park strategy.
Yeah.
Like, we are rope dropping.
That's right. I pride myself, which is different now because there was a while that I didn't go, but I used to not need like the maps and stuff. Like, I mean, you need the apps to book your lightning lanes and stuff, right? But like, I know where everything is. I don't need help. I don't need your help, Mary Helen. Don't help me.
Not trying to brag.
Yeah, no, not trying to brag. I know my way around. So
I didn't mean to make this a whole Disney episode, but real quick, back in the day, back before the apps, when you used to have to like go to the ride and get a fast pass.
Pull a fast pass.
I was, because I do have family that lives in Orlando, and one of my best friends lived there for many years. So there was a season where I did go quite frequently, like before I was married and before I had kids. And so I had gotten really good at like timing, because you would use your fast pass and then I would be like, okay, if I sprint to this ride, I can get a fast pass. I can get everyone's fast passes. Like, give me your tickets. I'll run, get this while you're in line for this. And like, you would literally, I would run across the park, get a fast pass, run back to the line that we were in, do that ride. Like, it was a different kind of excitement.
Yeah.
They would try to limit the number of fast passes you could pull in a particular amount of time. But then when the rides got too busy, they would just have the cast members there handing out the fast passes. So you could like game the system if you knew what you were doing.
Yeah. Interesting.
You can still game the system.
You can still, it's just all electronic now. It is very different if you go, I know we've both been somewhat recently, but it's people running around doing the paper fast passes. Now it's people walking around looking down
on
at their
phone.
phones.
And you have to like keep it on low battery mode so it doesn't die during the day.
Bring a portable charger.
Let me tell you one more way that you can beat the system. When I was pregnant in Disney, not this time, I've actually gone to Disney twice pregnant. I don't know why I keep doing that. When I was pregnant my second, I fainted in line for Jungle Cruise. It was just really hot. It was 100 and something. I mean, and like, I think I just got dehydrated. And I was pregnant. Like, my hormones were crazy. I just passed out. Like, I was fine. It was like for a few seconds, and then I came to. But the cast members were all freaking me out, and they took me to this like room and brought me like Sprite and stuff. And then they were like, here, just take, these are a bunch of fast passes you and your family can use today to make up for all the time you lost. And they gave me like physical ones.
Okay.
And
all you have to do is pass out.
So faint in the park.
So, and then the next day, like we were waiting in line for something the next day, and my brother was like, hey, could you pass out again?
That's right. That's right.
It's not that hard.
That's funny. Yeah. That's funny.
So, anyway, I didn't mean to make this all about Disney, but this is fun stuff.
Yeah, that's as we alluded to, we could talk about it forever. But I do want to talk about you. We talked about travel, and we've alluded to some of your trips that you've taken recently, and also you've obviously been to Disney at least once because you saw me there. But you didn't always do travel agents stuff. You had a prior career before this, right? So tell us like how you started and how you arrived where you are now.
So I started my career. I graduated from the University of Georgia with a degree in public relations and moved back home to Augusta and took a job doing marketing for a continuing care retirement community, which is a retirement community that starts at independent living and then goes all the way basically till you die. Okay. You stay there the whole time. And it's a pretty weird way to start your business or start your life and your career. But it was great. It served me really well for a couple of years. I moved from there into marketing on the for a general contractor for construction, and did that for a couple of years. And then as an adult, I went to Disney with my husband and his mom and his brother, and I was planning our trip and kind of did the Disney adult thing, dug into every single detail, I just super commit to everything that I do. And then when I came home, I didn't really have a way to shut that off. I just was like, oh, now I know how to do this really well. I should teach other people how to do this really well. And then it became something that I decided I needed to monetize. So, and at the time I was still working full time, and I started, doing this on the side. And then in October of 2018, I think I said to my husband, who was working as an attorney, I said, I think that if we were about to move to Atlanta, I said, I think if you let me quit my job, my day job, I could possibly make up my salary, basically, doing travel at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Like in the next couple of years, I think I could make a full-time salary selling travel. And so he was like, whatever, sure. Okay. We didn't have kids yet. We found out the next week that I was pregnant. It's fine.
That's how that goes.
It's like you quit and then you find out, you're like, whoops.
Yeah, exactly. And so I started doing that, and it ended up being really, really successful, to the point where we have sort of had this full circle moment where in the last year, Fisher has been able to quit his job and go out on his own and build his own business.
That's awesome.
So it's been really cool to kind of go full circle like that, because truly, I just said, I think I could maybe do this, and it's turned into something so much more than what we could have imagined. So anyway, started selling Disney in 2018, developed this sort of higher end audience of people that were not going to Disney all the time, really kind of wanted it to be a one and done with their kids maybe, or they were going to do it every couple of years, but still really wanted to do it really well. And then they were coming back to me and saying, hey, you did such a great job on our Disney trip. Can you plan our trip to XYZ, to Turks and Caicos?
So you Europe, started with Disney and then you got into the other travel planning. Okay.
And it was great because I already had this whole world of people that were trusting me with their travel. So the audience was already there for that. And so Law Luxury Travel developed as more of a need than a want, if that makes sense, because it gets real weird calling a 5-star resort in the Caribbean or in Europe and telling them that the agency name is Minnie Mouse Counselors, right? They don't, why there's a language barrier, like spelling out the word mouse. They don't understand why there's a mouse involved at all. Like it's all very confusing, right? And so at some point we had to sort of differentiate between the brands. So Minnie Mouse Counselors exists to serve our clients for Disney, Disney Cruise Line, Universal, Adventures by Disney, which is Disney's small group travel outside of the theme park. So they do things all over the world. And then Law Luxury Travel serves those same clients, but in a different capacity when they're doing, non-Disney travel all over the world. And so I now have a team of advisors, some that work under Minnie Mouse Counselors, some that work under Law Luxury Travel, and some that work under both. And so it's just really kind of taken on a life of its own, and it's amazing. And it's something that I'm super proud of. Because
you should be. Yeah. It's a huge accomplishment. I mean, to be able
would have thought.
Yeah. To take this thing that you just wanted to do on the side and make it your full-time job, and it's thriving. Yeah. Like, you should be proud of that. That's a big deal.
It's a little wild. It's just like, how did we get here? I don't know. I kind of blacked out. COVID happened. I don't know. But here we are.
Yeah, here we are. That's right.
So, okay, I have a question about how it works, because I know the only time I've ever used any kind of travel advisor or anything is for Disney, and I didn't pay extra for that. That was like part of the deal. So whenever you plan these other trips, like a trip to Europe, is that like, do people pay for you to plan their whole itinerary? Are you just booking resorts? Is it like a flat? I mean, you don't have to get into your pricing, but like, what's the structure like?
It just depends. And for Disney, it depends too. So we still have complimentary Disney packages where we kind of educate our clients on everything that needs to be done. But then we have higher tiers where we like take on the burden of waking up at 6 a.m. and waking up at midnight to do Bippity Boppity Boutique and doing your dining and doing your lightning lanes and things like that. From a non-Disney perspective, if we are just booking resorts, typically there's no fee included with that, because that's very easy for us to do, and we're compensated by the resorts. If we are planning out a full detailed itinerary, if you are doing multi-city, you're going to Europe, you are, want to go to Greece and do 3 different islands and need ferries and transfers and flights and all the things, then yes, we typically will charge a fee for that. And that just depends on the advisor that you're using, the length of trip, how many people are traveling. All different things kind of play into basically the complexity of the trip is going to line up with what we are going to charge from a fee perspective.
So do you have to like quote it's not like a flat rate. It sounds like it's like hey, what do you need? I'll put it like, that's what we do we do marketing, and it's like, it does vary. It's not necessarily like I can tell you what one thing costs across the board. It's like we sit down with the client, hear what they need, and then make a proposal. Is that kind of your setup as well?
That's exactly what we do. Yeah. The difference probably between you and me is that we will not send a quote until we are that fee is paid, because a lot of the work is in the quoting process.
Sure,
We're putting together the trip on the front end.
Well, yeah, because they could just take the quote or take the the ideas that you've talked about and go do it themselves. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Got it.
Did you travel a lot before you started doing this?
I travel more now. That's one of probably the hardest part of my family life and my marriage is having to leave a lot, and trying to balance working and leaving and having kids at home that need their mom and a husband that needs his wife, So, I do travel more now, but it's part of it, You
How old are your kids?
They're 5 and 6. They're 14 months apart.
Oh, they're close. That's fun.
They're extremely close.
Yeah, I wanted to ask because so whenever we lined up this interview, Will introduced me to you, and so I started following you on Instagram, and I saw you post recently. You were going somewhere, and you had a sick kid, and you were like about to have to leave, and I was like, I have 3. They're 6, 4, and 1, and I have left them for short trips. I've only left the older 2 for one bigger Europe trip, and I'm doing that again later this year. And when I went last time, I had anxiety for months leading up to it. The one later this year isn't even booked, and I already have anxiety about leaving my kids for 10 days. Like, is that something that did you have at first and you've gotten better at? Or was that just not, maybe it's just me?
No, it's definitely not just you. And I would say I have a lot of people on my team that struggle with the same thing. I think I struggle with it less for a couple of reasons. Number one, I have been leaving my kids for a very long time. And that sounds so bad. But
we know what you mean. You mean like they're kind of used to, this is mom's job.
Yeah.
They were young when I started leaving them. And so emotionally, it was harder then. No, I take that back. It was not harder then. It was hard then. I got better at it. It's probably harder now because my kids know that I'm gone. They are aware, they want me, and they're sad when I'm gone. My daughter's behavior is significantly worse at school when I'm away. And I literally am messaging. We have this app called Class Dojo, and I'm getting a message from her teacher like, Anna Catherine has been blah, 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 blah today. And I'm like, sorry, I'm in Scotland.
Right.
And blah, 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 blah. To the point where I'm like going to start telling the teacher when I'm out of town so that she can expect that that's going to be like a repercussion of that. But I have an amazing, amazing support system. And this job is only possible because of that. My husband is wonderful and is recently even more flexible because he did go out on his own. My mother-in-law lives very close to me, so she keeps the kids every single Friday, regardless of whether or not I'm here. She picks them up from school, and like Friday's at Lala's day, and they know that. And my parents will come in from Augusta and stay and keep the kids for several days at a time when I'm gone. And we have amazing childcare here also. So without that, I literally could not function. I write out a schedule every single day that I'm gone. This is what's happening. It's such as pajama day at school. There's a clay class after school for Ian and Catherine.
It's always some kind of dress up day.
Dress up day every
This is
every
always
day.
dress up day. This is who's dropping off. This is who's picking up. This is who's responsible at such and such time. You know what I mean? The switch off, the everything, so that everything's taken care of. And that makes it a little bit easier for us to kind of know that, okay, every single day is written out. We know what to expect, but it's still hard. I don't have anxiety really. I have it's more sadness,
maybe the mom guilt that hits no matter what.
Yeah. But there's nothing worse. I will say this, little plug for what we hear as travel advisors. Are you ever home? People love to say that. Are you ever home? And I'm like, why don't you just look at me in my face and tell me I'm a bad mom? Because as a mom who's working, that's the most offensive thing. Yes, my job looks fun to you because I'm at Glen Eagles in Scotland, and it is truly an amazing 5-star resort. And I'm about to go on an African safari, and it's probably going to be life-changing. But I am working while I'm there, and nobody is calling up your husband who works for Deloitte and is gone Monday through Thursday every week and asking him,
Are you ever home?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not what you were asking. But
No, this is what I love.
This is it. Yeah.
Will knows. I love talking about working moms. I mean, I do think there's a double standard just in general for working moms versus working dads, and the questions that you get asked and the 100%. The expectations that are there. But I can imagine it's, like you said, so much more intense because you're leaving, but your work, that is your job and you're doing your job. And that's something for your kids to look up to and be like, wow, look at my mom. She's on an African safari for work. What a cool job. I'd be bragging to everybody in the first grade about that. You know?
And hopefully one day, they will look at that and that will be their perception of it. And that's, all you can do is try to set that example.
Well, and you are gone a lot, but I imagine you are home a lot too. And because of your job, you have the flexibility to probably be at things that you wouldn't have been able to be at had you had a more structured corporate work schedule.
Exactly. I'm on the PTO board at school. I went to Ash Wednesday Mass yesterday at the school and sat with both my kids literally on top of me, essentially, with the whole pre-K 4 and kindergarten classes right next to me. You know what I mean? I'm able to do that. And like you said, that's not something that I would necessarily get to do had I had, still been in a 9-to-5 kind of situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you are traveling, you obviously you plan travel. Are these site visits that you're going to see? Is that kind of what's happening when you're going? Yeah.
For example, my most recent, the trip that I just got back from, that you guys are kind of alluding to, was a conference. And it was a producers conference called Internova Plus. It was at Glen Eagles in Scotland. And we got to do a lot of really cool activities, but we also met with a lot of partners while we were there. So we had blocks of meetings that were 7 minutes long, going from one person to the other. And then also matched activities and focus groups that were with those different partners, but the same, you know what I mean? The groups that they kind of switched out. So you got to meet everybody. So it was really well structured and done very well. And just a really cool experience. And then you had the opportunity on the front end and on the back end to do what we call pre and post fam trips. So fam trips are familiarity trips. Those are the things that you see travel agents doing when they're traveling with other travel agents a lot of times, is they're on fam trips. And so my pre-fam was with Four Seasons and my post-fam was with Rocco Forte Hotels. So with Four Seasons, we went and stayed at their property in London at Park Lane, and then toured and had dinner at their Tower Bridge property, and then went to Four Seasons Hampshire before we went to Glen Eagles for 4 days. And then I left Glen Eagles with Rocco Forte and Dream Escape, which is a DMC, which is a destination management company, which is a whole other thing. There are in-country partners that help us piece these trips together. And so with Rocco Forte and Dream Escape, we went to the Balmoral in Edinburgh, and then we went to Brown's Hotel back to London, and then I flew home. So it was a 9-night trip. I was in 5 different hotels while I was there. And that's just staying. That does not include everything else that I saw while I was there.
Now you can say, like this is, if you want to go to Scotland, this is the place that you need to go. You can call Steve or whatever, and he'll take care of you, that kind of stuff. Yeah, that's great.
And so it's exhausting, right? Like it looked and I do a very good job of making it look super fabulous on the internet, right?
Well, that's part of the job.
At the same time, you're packing and repacking all the stuff 5 different times. You are on absolutely every waking hour of the day. Our guide Sally in London with Dream Escape was telling us that her train was delayed going home one night after she left us. And she was like, and I've had my front of house face on all day.
Front of house.
And I was like, yes, Sally, I know about the front of house space. Like, I hear you.
I want to start
you
using that.
You live in your front of house space. Yeah, that's so funny.
And you're just like, want to just be off for a minute, and you really don't have that much time because you're up until, 11 p.m. having cocktails and dinner, and, you've had a 4-hour meal, and then you wake up and start going again at 8 o'clock the next morning for breakfast. So it just is really...
And I imagine, I could be wrong, but I imagine you also have clients that you're communicating with at home during this time too.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yes.
And I have wonderful assistants that kind of help me manage my inbox while I'm gone, but there are certain things that they don't do and certain things that they can't do. And so you're also kind of putting out fires in between on your cell phone, or, trying to sneak away for 10 minutes to call somebody. And then on your flight home, you're like, oh, well, here are the 50 emails that I didn't get to while I was
And
gone.
making sure the kids got everywhere they were supposed to be,
dressed up in the right
had on
shirt.
the pajamas for pajama day.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it truly is a lot.
Mary Helen, this is just a fun aside, but a couple of years ago, we were pitching a company for some fam tours, and I reached out to you about doing them and coming to Mississippi to do some stuff. And I think both of us at one point were like, I'm not totally sure how this works. I think we wrote, I helped write your bio and you helped me craft the pitch. It was just a really funny collaborative effort. It didn't ultimately work out, unfortunately. The client missed out.
Have you been to Jackson, Mississippi? Have you been to Mississippi at all?
Yeah.
I have been to Mississippi. I went on a road trip with my husband and his parents before we were married. And we went to Louisiana, and on the way kind of stopped, and we went to Natchez, Mississippi, and then had to have gone somewhere else, but I can't remember. There was a weird snowstorm that had just happened, and everything was kind of shut down. We don't
know what to do when a snowstorm comes. It all shuts down for quite a while.
Yeah,
we
right.
have no idea.
That's right.
We have no idea what we're doing.
That's funny. So do you have, I guess, with all these places you go, I guess this is sort of a 2-parter question. Do you have, I'm sure you have a favorite place you've been, but is there a particular place that all of my clients want to go to Balmoral or whatever it is? Is there a popular place that you get the most bookings for? And then I guess, what's your favorite place?
We see, because of and this is going to be different for every travel advisor that you ask. One thing that, we get asked all the time is, what are the trends in travel? And I'm like, I hate that question. I don't know. What's trending for you and all these people over here is not the same as what's trending for me and all these people over here, right? But we have sort of a niche clientele of a lot of families with young kids, because guess what? All my advisors are young moms that have a lot of young kids. And so those people are drawn to us because we know what to expect when traveling with those tiny people, right? And so we get a lot of requests for Mexico and the Caribbean, and then Western Europe. And what we've noticed is, as the kids grow up, that is shifting further and further east, right? So they're like, okay, well, we're going to try London and see how it goes. And then they're like, okay, well, that went pretty well. So let's do Italy next time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's let's start where people speak English, and then we'll get a little more brave next time and go to a country where that's not the top language. And and then maybe we'll go a little farther, a little less metropolitan.
Exactly. So you will have some advisors that are getting requests all the time for, Japan's still really hot right now. So they're getting
Will knows. My husband is so mad we're not going to Japan this year.
So Japan.
We talked about this earlier this week.
Guess what? I'm not getting a lot of requests for Japan. You know why? Because my clients have 5 and 6-year-olds, and you know who's not trying to get on a flight to Japan?
Yeah, I'm not taking those kids to Japan.
90% of the people that have 5 and 6-year-olds.
Well,
the other 10%, you can shout out to Whitney on my team, who will take her children literally anywhere, and God bless her.
Yes.
But I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing
Well,
it.
listen, if
going.
you need somebody to do a site visit in Japan, just let me know
I'll
come. Yeah, we'll do it.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'll
You could,
take care
you
of it
could
for
send us. Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
Send you.
Yeah, that's
More
right.
on that, remote from
That's
No
right.
one on my
Live from
team
Japan.
would want to go at
That's
all.
right.
For
Yeah,
sure.
that's right.
No,
That's right.
we'll do it if we have to.
If I have to.
Do you ever take your kids on any of these trips, or is that just too hard when you're like working?
Usually no. Last year in July, Four Seasons Nevis hosted a family fam trip, which is honestly one of the best things I've ever done. And I tell all our properties that lean towards family about this trip, because my friend Sonia, who represents that property, and her team host during Sea Turtle Week this family fam every single year. And it's such a cool experience because they have stuff for the kids. They have some stuff that's just the advisors. Like, we're going to tour all the villas. They're not going to come tour the villas with us, but they're going to meet us at a villa and have lunch and a pool party up there. So then they're showcasing that property. We're showcasing that property, but it's also a fun family event that everybody can do. They go out every night. So they have the sea turtle conservation come in. And every night they go and find a mama sea turtle that has laid her eggs. And then they, I don't like to say catch because it sounds so derogatory, but they catch her and clean her up and tag her. And then the next morning, everybody gathers around the beach and they re-release her back into the ocean. And then once they have an app and you can track the turtles that were
That's cool.
re-released.
I bet
while
the
you
kids
were there.
think that's cool too.
Yeah.
And the kids were obsessed with it. And they had sea turtle camp and they did that pool party I was talking about. And truly, it was one of the best fam experiences because we were able to have our kids there. And, from an advisor perspective, that's what our clients want to see, right? If they're bringing their kids, they want to know what I did with my kids.
Right. And they want to hear you say, my kids loved this because, it's not just you saying they've got family. It's no, we did this. My kids have done this. I can tell you this is a good experience.
So there's an expense associated with that from a resort perspective. But also, I think that there's a lot of ROI on it because, you're getting that really, really good feedback and not just me kind of taking videos on my phone from the property. We are also taking our kids to a resort in Costa Rica. It's a Ritz-Carlton Reserve called Necahui. And it looks like Necajui, like Jui. At the end, it's a pretty new property. My clients have absolutely loved it. And so we are going to take the kids in July. I was going to say June, but it's July there. And I'm really excited about that. So about once a year, we try to take a big trip with the kids. I'm not brave enough yet to go, to Europe with them. I might do that next year. But yeah, most of the time I'm going, to Cabo in May for work. They're not coming. I'm going to Turks and Caicos in September. They're not coming. They're obviously not invited to Africa. So there was way too unhinged for
in
that.
The future.
Yeah.
Okay. You have several accolades. You were recently named on the A-list, but not for the first time for Travel and Leisure, right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, this is the third year.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And then also something with Condé Nast.
Condé Nast top travel professional. So that was last year and the year before, and then we'll see in March what
Fingers
happens for
crossed.
this year.
Yeah, we'll see. So do you have any other goals you're working towards right now? Or are you I'm just plugging away doing my thing?
I do. So one thing to know about travel agencies and the way that they work and stuff like that is a lot of these our hotel partners have their own programs that are preferred partnership programs. And when you are with a host agency that that specializes in luxury travel, then you a lot of times automatically, because of the number of agents and the sales and all of that, are a part of these preferred partnership programs. because I started out with a Disney host and I'm still with them, I will never leave them because I just am really loyal in that regard and have an agency owner that's really been very flexible to let me do whatever I want to do and grow this business how I want to. And because of that, there's a lot of loyalty there. But one of, the downfalls of that is that we don't have all of these preferred partnership programs that we would if I was with an agency that had all these advisors booking luxury travel. Instead, it's just really, my team with that primary focus. The rest of the team is focused on a lot of Disney and Universal, and rightfully so. It's, you know what I mean? That's the foundation of the agency.
Yeah.
But for me, I decided about 2 years ago that I was going to get all of these preferred partnership programs on my own. And just with, my little team and meeting all of our hotel partners and things like that. So my goals are for the team to get all of these. And, Belmont has Bellini Club. Four Seasons has Four Seasons preferred partners.
You said we don't know.
I'm nodding like I know. I did not know, actually. Yes, but I do now. Yeah.
Rosewood Elite.
Everyone knows.
Yeah, everyone knows. Yeah.
Forte has nights. You don't know. But these are the things that if I was with another agency, we would just be like, oh, yeah, we have all this. You know what I mean? But we don't have all that. We are part of Internova Select, which is a consortia of agencies that do get perks for our clients, which is really wonderful. We can get our clients free breakfast and upgrades and early check-in and late checkout and resort credit and things like that. But I just want more. And so my goal is to try to get all of those on our own. So that's one of the things that we're working towards right now.
That's awesome.
That. And I'm sure it's added value for your clients and I'm sure for you as well. It makes things a little easier along the way.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And, developing those relationships is one of the reasons why I'm traveling so much is because the face-to-face time that you really get with our partners is not something that you can do anywhere else. And so it's super, super helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So every episode, when we talk to our guests, we ask them what their one thing that you could talk about forever that you wish somebody asked you, or you this is my soapbox. You're more on that, if you will. What is your more on that, Mary Helen?
Working moms.
Yeah. That was mine.
Moms, working, traveling moms. I mean, I've already talked about that.
Yeah.
I could probably really go off on that for a long time.
That's mine too. Will and I asked each other. What did
y'all say?
Well, we did an episode and that was mine is I think I said motherhood in general, but a lot about working moms and just balancing. I think that maybe in the post-COVID world, because so many things can be done remote and through Zoom now, it's made it so much easier for a lot of people in their careers, not everyone, to be able to do more at home during the workday. And so I think that that's something I try. There's not a perfect balance. I don't think that exists at all. But I think finding the balance for you is important. And I think that our generation does try very hard to figure out how can I work and chase this dream, but also be present at home with my kids and do both. I feel like maybe our parents' generation felt a little more like they had to choose a path, one or the other. And we're kind of figuring out what it looks like to do both of those things. And they're both things I'm passionate about. I love the job that I have and the work that we do at More Media Group, but I love being a mom and I love being at home with my kids too. And I love that I'm able to do both of those things. And that's my thing.
Somebody asked me in a question box on Instagram the other day how I balance it all. And I was like, not very well. Because you are sort of in this, world of my home is my office and my office is my home and my business is actually my entire, it goes with me everywhere, right? I can't ever leave it. And so it's really, really challenging right now I'm looking next to me and there's still Valentine's candy all on this bench to the right of me. And there's, leftover breakfast to the left of me. And I'm, still, through on this shirt, I have leggings and socks on underneath. You know what I mean? It's this, it's all fake. You know? It's just it's not all together. The car is a mess. There's stuff everywhere. There's trash everywhere. But your kids are loved and they get, I put them down at night every night when I'm here and they get snuggles and, we're just all doing kind of the best we can. My friend Courtney, who Will knows, is friends with Whitney as well. She got a brick recently, and we have one. We have not started using it, and we need to, but it's really helped her to separate her work and her mom life. And because we have such an overlap, she homeschools. So, I mean, forget it.
She was a teacher before she worked.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it allows you to kind of differentiate between those things and say, okay, I'm shutting off work right now. Because for me, when I get an email after hours, I'm like, well, I just got to almost the bottom of my email inbox a minute ago, and now I don't want this looming over me tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to respond to it real quick. But at 6 p.m. and the kids need dinner and to be bathed and stuff like that. And you really need to be a present mom during that time. So I'm going to try the brick and see if it helps me kind of.
Yeah.
I like that. We talked about that too. And Emily knows we were making fun of me this morning before we recorded about I'm like that. Oh, I only have 3 unread emails. It's 9 p.m. Let me just knock this out real quick. Oh no, it's 10:15. I've spent an hour and 15 minutes.
Mary Helen, my after hours emails like that hit my inbox are from Will.
They're from me. Yeah. We gotta keep this, just keep it moving.
I'm like, stop. We're not doing that.
The schedule send, we use Google, our email and stuff is Gmail based, and the schedule send has
I'll get them fresh at 8 a.m. And I'm like, Will, I know you did.
It helps me hide my insanity.
You're not fooling me.
That's right. It helps me hide my insanity.
I was like, I didn't work last night. I'm like, then why did I get 6 emails from you at 8 a.m. on the dot?
Have I changed that time to like 8:13 just to make sure? Yes, absolutely.
But stagger them.
Yeah, for sure.
8:13, 8:15,
yeah, that's right.
8:17.
That's right.
Just stagger them. She'll never know.
That's right. This episode is sponsored by Fuse.cloud. Fuse.cloud delivers technology solutions to thousands of businesses across the country. We've used them for internet at our office for years, and we couldn't be happier. Their customer service is seriously top-notch.
Yeah, we don't often have issues, but whenever we do, they're always immediately ready to jump in and help. We love these guys so much that we even named our password after one of their team members for a while.
Yeah, Ben is the bomb.
And our clients were always so confused, like, who's Ben?
And while you aren't required to reference their team in your password, you should look into using Fuse.cloud for your business and internet needs.
They also offer other services like voice and managed IT, and they're based right here at home in Jackson, Mississippi.
Check them out online at Fuse.cloud. That's FUSE.cloud. We do usually have also a quick fire, like rapid fire question. I know we're coming to the end of our time, but
I made yours travel edition.
Yeah. So I like this one, so I'll start here. We'll go out of order. Window seat or aisle seat?
Can the answer be business class and nobody's sitting next to me?
That is a wonderful answer. From a luxury travel agency. Yes, I love that answer.
Okay, wait, I have a quick story. So we went to Europe last year with my husband's brother and his wife, and they were getting, I don't even know what the level is above, just the cheapest seats. But they were getting whatever it was, like maybe, is it business class? Cabin. Is it first? Whatever. They were getting that. And because we were going to Spain. And I told Tyler, I was like, hey, because my sister-in-law was booking the trip. I was like, they're getting this whatever class. Can we get that too? And he was like, how much is it? And I told him, he was like, no. And he was like, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't really care. I mean, I'm going to probably fall asleep for the whole plane ride anyway. And so then my sister-in-law's booking. She's like, hey, I'm about to book y'all seats. It's like however much more. Like you have to pay a tiny bit more to pick your seats. And my husband was like, absolutely not. And so we ended up there and back in the both flights, the flight there and the flight home, in the very back seat of the plane. Like our seats didn't even lean back.
I would be divorced. No.
Will knows. He's we won't call him a tightwad. We'll say he's so budget conscious.
He's smart is what he is.
But if we joke, my sister-in-law was like, I bet if I told Tyler he had to fly sitting on the toilet in the bathroom for the whole flight to Europe, he'd be like, book it if it's cheaper.
Yeah, do it. I love that.
I am such a control freak. Like I have to have not only like the business class seat, but like the best business class seat.
I like that.
I love that for you.
I don't have to be in. So I've been flying British Airways a lot with points lately, and they have like a first class. I don't have to be in the first class, but I like to be, they sometimes break up the cabin, the business class cabin, into a little one and a big one, and I like to be in the little one.
I like that.
Okay.
Well, you have to get in the headspace of your clients too. That's what it is. It's research.
Yeah, you
it's
have
all
to.
part
You
of
don't have
research.
a choice.
It's research.
You really don't have a choice.
It's research.
Okay, what country do you most want to visit?
India.
Okay.
Japan.
What are your shoes of choice for travel? What's the best travel shoe?
Oh my gosh.
This is your
such
moral
a Disney question
yes.
too. You know, because like people
it's a big deal.
Like, what shoes should I wear for Disney? I'm like, the freaking comfortable ones. What do you mean? Like put on a tennis shoe that fits you and doesn't hurt, and that's it.
Call it a day. There you go. That's all you need. Okay, this will be the last one. On a plane, do you prefer to watch like a new, assuming you watch movies, do you watch like a new movie, or do you have a comfort movie that you just like to watch over, because when you're flying, like, I guess I feel like this question came from, I tend to pick comfort movies because it's not something I have time to watch at home, but I'll be like, oh my gosh, they have this. I haven't seen this in 10 years. Like, what do you do?
So I normally am watching like the flight path.
Love it.
There's like a reel, and or it's a reel, not a TikTok, because,
Millennials.
Right, exactly.
Got it. We're there. We're with you.
But there's like, it's like the background is like, this is my jam, and it just turns and it's the video of the plane.
The flight path.
Yes.
And I'm like, that is literally me watching the flight path. But most recently on a flight, in this flight that I was most recently on, I watched Bridgerton. I downloaded the first episodes of Bridgerton on the way home. And then on the flight before that, I was watching the Taylor Swift documentary. So I would say I'm more of a new media kind of girl. I would love it if there was just a new, like, feel-good chick flick on every single plane ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Did you watch People We Meet on Vacation?
Yes.
So good. There just hasn't been a lot of good rom-coms in recent years, and that one did my soul good.
Yeah. Really good.
Okay, Mary Helen, how can people keep up with you, like, on social media?
So many accounts. If you want to follow me personally, it's at Mary Helen _Law, LAW, which is my last name. Yes, my husband's an attorney.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I love that.
I get that a lot, so I just like put it right out there. And then at Law Luxury Travel. And then if you want to follow along with any Disney content, at Minnie, MINI _mouse, like Minnie Mouse.
We get
Counselors, COUNSELORS.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mary Helen. Thank you so much for listening as well. If you'd like to check out more podcast episodes or what More Media is doing, you can check us out at themoremediagroup.com or at More Media Group on Instagram. As we mentioned, we're millennials. That's where we live. And thank you so much for listening.
This may be obvious, but More on That is sponsored in part by our company, More Media Group. We're a full-service marketing and public relations agency located in Jackson, Mississippi. We offer help with public relations, advertising, social media, branding, and website design.
Yeah, if it falls under the marketing umbrella, we can help. Our team has worked with clients across several industries, including tourism, healthcare, economic development, higher ed, food and beverage, and more.
If you think we'd be a good fit, check us out at themoremediagroup.com. That's more with 2 O's. Before we go, we want to give one more thank you to our presenting sponsor, Community Bank. Whether you're looking for personal or business banking, Community Bank is the place to go.
They're helpful, responsive, and always updating their services to provide the very best banking options to their customers. Visit communitybank.net to learn more. Member FDIC.